Hey everyone! So, you're getting ready for that B1 German exam, huh? Well, you're in the right place. We're about to tackle all the essential vocabulary you'll need for school and tests, so you can walk into that exam feeling totally ready to go. Look, I get it. Staring down a big list of vocabulary can feel, well, a little intimidating. But don't you worry. We're going to break this all down piece by piece, so you can walk in there with confidence, I promise. All right, let's dive right in. Every student's story starts in the classroom, right? So we'll start with the basics, your school subjects, or as they say in German, Schulfächer.
Okay, so the most important word to know here is das Fach, or even more specific, das Schulfach. That's pronounced das Schulfach. It literally just means school subject. This is your building block for talking about anything you're studying.
Now, the good news is you'll probably recognize a bunch of these, because the German words are super similar to English. You've got Mathematik, pretty easy, Geschichte is history, and Kunst is art. Then for the sciences, we have Biologie and Physik. And of course, the whole reason we're here today, die Sprache, language. So, you're in the classroom, you've got your subjects. What's next? Yes, the big challenge every student has to face, the exams. Let's get you the vocabulary you need for this mountain we've all got to climb.
Now this is interesting. In German, not all tests are really called the same thing. The most common word you'll hear is die Prüfung. Let's say it, die Prüfung. You might also hear der Test, which usually means something a bit smaller, like a quiz. And then there's the big one, das Examen. Das Examen. That's for your major final exams.
Okay, pro tip right here. This is a super important regional difference. In Germany, that big final high school diploma is called das Abitur. That's das Abitur. But if you're in Austria or Switzerland, they call it die Matura. Die Matura. It's basically the same thing, just a different word depending on where you are. Good to know. So, what kind of test will you have to take? Well, there are two main formats. An exam can be mündlich, mündlich, which is your oral or speaking exam. Or it can be schriftlich, which means it's written. And hey, your B1 exam has parts of both.
All right, we've seen the mountain. Now, how do we actually get to the top? This part is all about action. We're talking about the verbs you need to describe how you're going to prepare for this thing. Think of this as your 4-step training plan. Step 1, you sich vorbereiten. Sich vorbereiten. That means to prepare yourself. Then you have to üben, which means to practice, to drill. Naturally, while you practice, you'll Fehler korrigieren, or correct your mistakes, until, step 4, you eine Lösung finden. You find the solution. It's the perfect cycle. And really, this whole process is the secret to learning anything. You're going to make a Fehler. Der Fehler, a mistake, and that is totally okay. The whole point is to look at what was falsch, or wrong, so you can find die Lösung, the solution, which is richtig, or right. Mistake, solution. That's the game.
Okay, deep breaths. You've put in the work, you've prepared, you sat through the exam. Now comes the really dramatic part, getting the results. Let's cover the words for this big moment of truth.
Now listen up, because these two verbs are absolutely everything. The goal, the word you want to remember is bestehen. That's B-S-T-H-E-N, to pass. The opposite, which we are not going to focus on, is durchfallen. D-O-U-R-C-H, fallen, to fail. We are all aiming to bestehen. So how do you know if you passed? Well, you'll get die Note, DEAOT. That's your grade or your mark. It's how your performance is officially bewertet, or evaluated.
Your grade can be described in a few ways. You might get a negative grade, which, not what we want. You could also get an average grade, which is durchschnittlich. But of course, what we're all shooting for is that positive result. That's definitely worth smiling about.
Okay, let's just imagine that wonderful moment. You passed, you did it, so what's next? Well, you get the official proof, the document that shows off all your hard work. Let's check out what those are called. So, there are a few different types of these official papers. In school, you typically get das Zeugnis, which is a report card. From a university, you might get das Diplom. But for you, the grand prize, the thing you're working for, is das Zertifikat. Das Zertifikat. That's your B1 certificate. That's the proof.
And that really brings us right to the end, to the big question.
Now that we've walked through all this vocabulary, from the classroom subjects all the way to that final certificate, are you ready to üben, to practice, and to bestehen, to pass, so you can earn your certificate? Yeah, I think you are.